I'm almost there. I wonder if you caught up. I'm missing something. There's something very small that's missing from this that probably you wouldn't lose a mark for, but as a mathematician, you should not get away without writing. What's missing? Okay, so at a certain point, I multiplied through, right? I multiplied through. And, well, okay, so for starters, like, just to write this thing, which really I should have, if you're talking about the value k equals 91, I really should have said it much earlier, okay? But at this point, the part that's problematic is, this inequality, I've said it's not going to change direction at this point, okay? The reason for that is because k plus 1, right? K plus 1. The smallest value k can take is 0. So the smallest value k plus 1 can take is 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. So therefore, I should be able to say here that k plus 1 is positive. And that's why this inequality stays the way it is, whereas down here, it flips around, okay? Now, minor little point which you should jot down. See this number here? It's 3.5, okay? So that means, for all of that is less than that, the coefficient keeps getting bigger. If this is a whole number, this is an integer of some kind, then you don't get one greatest coefficient. You get two, the two equal ones, right? I'll let you ponder why that is. Okay, just have a think about it, but for now I just want you to know that it's true. Now I'm going to use this to actually solve the question, okay? So remembering that k has to be an integer, right? That means that the coefficients are increasing for which values of k? K equals 0, 1, 2, 3. Yeah? These all satisfy, yes? Okay. But, you don't have to write this really, but it's decreasing for k equals, that's just the last one. It's just the last one. Oh, no, I can have 5. I can have 5. Okay, so therefore what I'm going to do is off of this, I'm going to write a big long inequality that helps me identify which term I need. In other words, this one. I'm going to say, look, the coefficients keep on increasing from C0 is going to be less than C1, which is going to be less than C2, which is going to be less than C3. Yeah? Okay, pause for a second. Is the coefficient for the next one going to be bigger or smaller? Like as in, do you want me to write it this way or this way? Lesser than or greater than?
Next one is C3 is greater than. C3 is greater than C3.
Okay, so here's option 1.
That's the one. Yeah.
No.
And here is option 2.
No. You need to switch it again.
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh yeah. The second one's correct.
Yeah.
Is it this one or this one?
Oh, C3 is. No, C3 should be greater than C4.
C was the greatest one.
Because that's k plus 1, a plus 1.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this is, and you see why I'm dwelling on this, because this is where students have done all this wonderful work, and then the last hurdle, wait, which one is it? Okay, so let's think about this, right? Coefficients are increasing for these particular values. Now what this does is it compares what you are now to the next one, right? What you are now to the next one. What you are now to the next one. And when I'm there, to get to the next one, I've got to multiply by some number bigger than 1. Right? Which means that the next one along, C4, is still going to be bigger.
Oh.
Okay? Think about it. And you can just write them out. Remember, go back to the table that you drew, right? 10 minutes ago, okay? Have a look at what point the inequality stops working, right? So I think from memory it was C2. C2, it's like, oh, okay, that's the last one. It's like, what was it? 2, I think it was the actual value, right? So that means I've got to multiply by 2 to get to the next coefficient, and then after that it stops, okay? So you wanted that next one, that guy. There's your k plus 1. Okay, does that make sense? Another way you can think about this is if k is less than 3.5, k equals 3 is the biggest value that satisfies this. But k plus 1, we all wrote this down, right? K plus 1 is the greatest coefficient, okay? So therefore, number 4 has to be, okay? So, just to tidy this up in a bow, therefore, what is C4. Like that's the actual thing I want to work out. Where do I go to find out what the greatest coefficient is? Have a look, it's on the board. Where am I going to go?
You can use T to
I think I'm probably going to go here, right? I'm going to go here. I think that's the best way to go. This is TK, so I just want this part without the X because I'm not worried about that bit. So I'm going to say C4 is equal to, all right, 5C4 times 1 to the power of 1 times 3 to the power of 4. What's 5C4? That's 5, right? That's 5. Times 3 to the 4, which is 81. So this is 405. Okay? Now, you might recall I said I chose this number to the power of 5 because you can actually write it out. You can actually do it. It's just within the range of being able to do. So here's the expansion. This is the actual, if you had done it by hand. Right? So in confirmation of what we just found, yes, it is coefficient 4, which is the 5th term in there, but that's just if you're counting. Okay?